Spellbound is a fairy tale-inspired actual play D&D podcast. It follows the adventures of Princess Theia, the human sorceress, played by Lydia.r.miller.
No, I'm just being grumpy, because men are disappointing.
Delaelia, the elven ranger, played by Kelsea Botwinick-Haruza.
Knock it out!
Feliks, the gnome fighter, played by Rebecca Munoz.
Really, you shouldn't be here. This is very dangerous. This thing likes to bite.
And me, your DM, Emma Carter. Hello, hello. Welcome back, listeners. How are you? How are you holding up? It's crazy times, isn't it? We started this podcast about a month before COVID-19 really took center stage in America. And as you know, things have escalated so quickly. We hope that wherever you are safe, healthy, and have access to the food and medical supplies you need. A big thank you to all of our first responders, medical professionals, anyone working in the food or grocery industry right now, or delivering groceries. Basically, thank you to anyone who is putting themselves at risk so that the rest of us can stay healthy and well-fed. You deserve to be paid more. One silver lining of being stuck at home is that the Spellcast and I have had more time to play, but we have had to make some adjustments. What you'll hear today is the last segment of our last in-person session. Next time, you'll hear us recording remotely through Zoom and utilizing Roll20. The audio is going to be slightly of different quality, but we hope that you'll stick with us. Having this campaign has given us something to look forward to in these uncertain times, and we hope it's provided a satisfying escape for you as well. If we've inspired you to start your own game of D&D, even better. One more thing. We have a special guest making an appearance this week. This is a surprise even the Spellcast don't know about, so make sure you listen through the very end for our little Easter egg. All right. Sit back, relax, and I will see you in the story. We're going to skip back to Delaelia and Feliks.
All right.
And so you have the creature grappled. And Feliks, you tried to tie up his feet, but it's not really working. You hear approaching footsteps in the distance. Sounds like someone is close by. What do you do?
I'm gonna keep trying to grapple and tie up this creature.
Okay. What kind of roll would we make for a sustained grapple? Do you roll a strength contest?
Yeah, we have a strength contest, but it is actually his turn. I hate to say that, but
so let me see. So would I roll to try to break out of your grapple?
Mm-hmm. Which would also be a strength contest.
Well, we rolled a 15.
Well, I rolled a natural 20.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, so I'm gonna say because it was a natural 20, even with modifiers, that you managed to keep him. You managed to keep this creature grappled against. I mean, he is struggling too.
Mm-hmm.
He is not happy to have you holding him together. He's snarling. He's spittle and drool are flying off of his mouth. But you keep him still.
Cool. So it's his turn. So on my turn, I'm going to try to tie him up with the rope that's now by us.
Okay.
So I keep him held with my limbs, and I use the rope that Felix has brought over to try to tie him up.
Okay. What do we roll for the tying part? I mean, you've already kept him grappled.
Yeah. Do you think dexterity?
That's a dexterity.
Yeah. I feel like let's go ahead and roll with advantage though, since you were able to keep him grappled and you rolled that nice nat 20 for that.
Okay.
Because I feel like that would make it a lot easier to tie him since you got a nat 20 on that.
Yes. So that's a dirty 20.
A dirty 20.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
we call a dirty 20 a 20 when it's not nat, but I just really like that because I think did Clint start it on the Adventure Zone? That's the first time I heard it.
I don't know if anyone, I don't listen to other D&D podcasts, so.
But so you managed to. Which part of him are you trying to tie up? Mouth, paws.
I want to tie his arms to his body. So
Okay.
it's not even just tying his arms. I want to keep him pinned, his arms pinned to his sides, basically.
All right. So
And that'll probably start with his hands and then around his body.
Okay. Don't worry. Well, he rolled a 1.
Okay, so we're in good shape.
So
Do you want me to? I mean,
He
I
is good
can.
treatment.
I will see. Make sure. I rolled a 2. So
No, it's fine. It's fine. That
Great.
was me contesting something you already rolled. So like,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he rolled a critical fail. So this creature is struggling. I think that you just have him in this, like, it's kind of like in wrestling when you get someone in that right chokehold, this right position. It's really hard to break out. So you have him in just the right position to where he just like can't get his paws in front to like do anything. He's just kicking his feet a lot and snapping his jaws. And you manage to tie his paws to his torso, his arms to his torso.
great.
All right.
So yeah, I was wanting to get him tied up before whoever this is came here because I don't want it to look like I'm aiding him or something.
Yeah.
Good job. You have succeeded.
So the wolf is detained at this point. Yeah.
That's the word.
His mouth is still
Sustained.
his mouth is still like biting at the air. So I would say he's not completely not completely harmless yet. He's still putting up a fight.
Felix is going to run outside of the stable and kind of beckon the noise, the people he hears, just over here, over here.
Cool.
Man, Dashing is gonna be so embarrassed.
No, he's not. He's gonna say I'm a liar or something.
And so
there was 2 of them.
I'm gonna say, so Duke Roger sent some like lower level soldiers over just to check things out. So Delaelia, it's baby-faced guard, baby-faced guard, and we should give him a name. What do we name this guard?
I like baby
Dwight.
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 And the mean guard. What are we gonna call the mean guard?
I feel like
The
he should
bully.
be something like, I don't know, like Doug or Brad. Not Brad.
Dwight and Doug.
Dwight and Doug.
Dwight
Dwight and
and
Doug.
Doug. I love
Dwight
it.
and Doug. Dwight and Doug and a random other guy, a random soldier number 3.
Because they're dicks.
So Dwight and Doug and their friend Dan, they roll in and they see you beckoning Felix, and Doug says, "Stand aside," and and they
You really don't want to go in there.
and they push past you and they
Okay.
enter the stable, and Doug takes in the scene, and Doug, Dwight, and Dan take in the scene, and they see you, Delaelia, and you've got this creature like kind of hogtied, although it's still thrashing. And Doug sees you, and he says, "You, I knew you were going to cause trouble."
Knock it out.
And I think that they are going to, they have spears, so they raise their spears and point them at you and the
Great.
creature. And Doug says, "Step away from the beast."
You really don't want her to do that.
Yeah, I respond by punching it in the head. I'm trying to knock it out. My goal is to knock it out.
Okay, so you're okay. Should you roll, what is it, like strength, or like, what do you think? Animal handling? Like, what do you think for like trying to knock a beast unconscious without harming it? Because I know that like going down to 0 hit points is unconscious, but you don't want to do that.
No, yeah. Maybe it's survival. So it's like or a medicine check. Because like medicine is like knowing how to knock someone out without hurting them like permanently.
Is that medicine?
Yeah.
In medieval times,
This is for your own good. Yeah.
I think it's time you take your medicine.
I would give you survival
Okay.
since you're like face to face with this beast.
Okay, cool.
What is it?
It's a natural one.
No. Okay. What do you think that translates to, Kelsea?
I would imagine I get hurt from it because I'm punching its head, so it probably bites me.
Yeah, I think you go to punch it and it snaps at you. It just snaps. And I think it's probably gonna do like at least one. It's not like an actual attack, so it's just kind of grazing you with its teeth.
Okay.
So let's say 1 damage, because it's just kind of like it nips your hand.
All right. And I just am like, get help.
And then Felix, do you do anything?
He's gonna try and reason with these guys. Look, I know this seems really suspicious, and like there's a lot going on here in this stable. But honestly, we're just trying to help, and as you can see, we really need your help. you strong, capable guards help in containing this beast before anyone gets hurt. And I'm gonna roll for persuasion.
Okay, yeah.
I can count 14.
Okay. So I'm gonna say that Dwight, babyface Dwight, he's nodding at you like, yeah, no, this gnome knows what he's talking about, guys. I think we should listen to him. And Dan is kind of mirroring Dwight, like, yeah, Doug, maybe we should. And Doug is he steps forward, and Doug is going to raise his spear, and he's going to attack the beast himself.
Is it gonna work? What a butthead.
But he rolls a 4.
Oh.
Great.
So he attacks with his spear, but it just kind of like bounces off the creature's, like it's pretty pathetic. Like he's trying, but it's not impressive. And you can tell that he's irritated by this. He was trying to do something really cool and badass, and he just ended up looking stupid. And the creature actually is probably gonna at this point make another attempt to break out of that grapple.
Mm-hmm. But he's tied up.
But the creature rolls a 3, so the creature remains grappled because he doesn't have any add-ons for his strength. So he remains grappled, but he's still angry and snarling. And now Doug looks extra pissed off. Delaelia, your turn.
I'm gonna try to knock him out again.
Okay.
She tries harder to aim for its temple.
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, but
8.
Wow.
Okay, so this time you don't hurt yourself, but you do hit it. And it just looks you just make it angrier. It doesn't knock it out. You're just like getting it even more riled up.
And I say, get help. Get the prince.
Felix.
I'm going to...
I'll just like remind you, there's still some freaked out horses in the stable.
Oh yeah, I should probably close that stable I opened. Because that did nothing. You know what? Felix is going to go back into the stable and kind of... I'm going to look around for maybe any clues about maybe where... If there's anything in there that might have like instigated this, or maybe it got in through somewhere else, or maybe there's something that can kind of help us should, if anybody get here and we can get this thing tied down so we can figure out what exactly this thing is.
Okay.
So I'm going to roll for perception, I guess?
Yeah. Or is there like a... No, I guess that's perception. Like if you're looking for something. Oh, investigation. That's what
20.
I was thinking. Oh!
Yeah.
Yay!
And there's nothing in there.
No. You got a 20. So, yeah, Felix actually, he goes into the stall that he opened to investigate, and he does find something. On the other side of the stall, kind of curled up in the corner, looking really drunk and scared, is Devlin.
Oh, no.
You wouldn't know who this person is, but there is a halfling who has like a bottle of whiskey in one hand, and he's just like pressed up against the side of the stable, and he's looking at you like he hasn't made a sound because he didn't want anyone to know he was here. He's like eyes wide, like so he's trying not to get smashed by a horse and not to get eaten by a beast. So you see a halfling hiding in the corner of the stall that you opened.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna kind of like gesture, like, you want to come out of there? Like the trouble's gone.
He shakes his head like, I'm not leaving.
Fair enough. I'm just gonna close the stall door.
Close the stall door.
At least it's not
Yeah.
And so, okay, so that was your turn. And so I'm going to say that we'll flip back to Theia. So Theia, you and Sabine are kind of quickly making your way towards where you saw the guards go. And you see a figure barreling towards you, and it is Hilda, and she looks terrified. And she rushes straight up to you, and she's screaming. She says, "Help! It's in the stable." And she kind of collapses into your arms, Princess Theia, and she's got tears streaming out of her face, and she's not speaking coherently, and her hair's fallen out, and she's freaked out.
Whoa, Hilda, hold on. I'm gonna sit her down on the ground, and I'm gonna put her head like between her knees type deal. And be like, hey, you just need to breathe. Can you breathe in? and then let it out. Can you tell me what happened?
And she does the breathing with you, and Sabine does the breathing with you too. You're both like, all three of you are like breathing for a second, and she manages to. There's a wolf in the stable. Esme was making fun of my hair, and so I didn't want to. And then she starts to cry again. But you have heard. And Sabine's eyes are wide now, and she looks at you and she says, Maybe we should stay here. Maybe you should stay here, princess.
Well, wait, Hilda, was there anybody else in there?
And she nods. She says, the heroes came to save me.
The heroes? Oh, you mean Felix?
And she nods vigorously.
Oh God. Well, we gotta get him out of there. We gotta make sure he's safe. Okay, so I'm not a great fighter, so maybe Sabine, maybe you should go and I'll stay with Hilda and make sure she gets somewhere safe.
And Sabine, she looks concerned and she says, I'm strong, but I'm not a fighter either, my princess. I think we should both stay here. But Hilda's tugging at you and she says, no, we have to help them, please.
Okay. Sabine, you stay here, I'll go. And I'm gonna leave before she can fight me on it.
Good idea.
She yells it as she runs.
And so, Princess Theia, you head towards the stable, and you see some guards standing. There's like a couple that are still standing outside. Doug is the only one who actually went into the stable, so there's 2 guards standing outside the stable. What do you do?
Well, they cower at my presence and bow to my will. So I'm gonna go up and demand to be told what is going on, and right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Go ahead and roleplay.
Yeah.
What does Theia say?
Theia is gonna puff out what little chest she has and try to look intimidating and say, "Guards, I demand to be told what has taken place this night. Please."
Can you roll an intimidation for me? So roll a d20, and then you'll add your intimidation to that if you have any additions for that.
Should she get advantage because she's royalty?
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. You are royalty. Okay, so yeah, let me give that. You're in your kingdom. I'll give you advantage. You can roll again. That's a good point, Kelsea.
Thank you.
Because these people, like, you are their ruler.
Thanks,
I feel like
Kelsea.
that should translate into some kind of advantage.
Hey, 14.
Okay, so 14. So yeah, the 2 guards whirl around and their eyes are saucers. The baby-faced guard, Dwight, he says, oh, princess, and he's just beside himself. And the 3rd guard says, oh, my lady, you shouldn't be here. There's a monster. And he kind of points into the stable. And you can peek your head in if you want to. Do you go inside?
I do want to go inside. I'm going to go inside.
Okay. So now that we're all in the same place, can we let's say Kelsea, Felix, the Beast, the guards, Princess Theia, because you were the last one to arrive. So
That's our
Kelsea, Felix,
initiative.
the Beast, the guards, Princess Theia. That's our initiative. So Princess Theia, you have just entered the stable. And Doug looks behind him and he does a double take and he says, my princess, what are you doing here? Get out. You must get out.
Do I get to respond?
Yeah.
I will not get out. I demand to be told what has happened to the gnome that I know was in here. Where is he? Are they safe?
And I will say, you see a giant monster that's tied up.
Oh,
it
God.
looks like a giant wolf-like creature, but it's got like arms that are like tied to its waist. And you see an elven woman who is like currently like grappling it. So that's what you see when you come in.
So then I don't say that at all. What I say is, oh my God.
Perfect. All right, Kelsea, we're back to you.
I'm gonna now attempt to tie up its legs.
Okay.
Yeah, with the same rope. You know, it's long. So
Yeah, it's like 50 feet. I feel like you'd have enough for tying up the legs too. So go ahead and
I'm turning it around
Turning
so that
it
its
around.
face is no longer up.
Okay.
I'm not intending to suffocate it, but like, yeah, just wanting to keep ourselves free and clear of the face and tie up its legs like hog tie it, basically.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a d20 for me. Let's see what we get. What is it?
I mean, it's 11.
It's 11 at night?
Oh, wait, no.
No, my roll was 11.
Oh, okay. I was like, but you rolled an 11. Would you say it's animal handling? Because you're trying to handle an animal?
Oh, no. Then in that case, it is 13.
Okay,
Math.
so you get a 13. So, like before, he is just kicking those legs. So you the rope is still wrapped around him, and his legs are a little bit tangled. It's not perfectly tied. So you've got him tangled up in the rope, but he is desperately trying to kick at you as to not be grappled by that rope. Do you want to do anything else? Say anything. You do see a young girl enter the room.
I say, be careful. This beast is very dangerous.
All right, Felix.
Well, Felix would have heard her being all princessy, right?
Mhm.
And he recognizes the voice. So Felix is going to, I mean, he just shut the halfling back in the stable. So Felix is going to make his way back to the entrance. And he sees the princess, and he's just like, Your Highness, really, you shouldn't be here. This is very dangerous. This thing likes to bite. You should really keep back. Felix is going to he's going to stand next to the princess, and his shield's kind of ready just in case he needs to jump in.
Oh, cool.
Okay, cool. All right. So the beast is, I'm going to say, let's see. He's going to try to break free again. He keeps rolling low. Oh.
Ooh.
What is it?
17.
Maybe I
Okay.
shouldn't have had us clear the table.
So as soon as you say that, Felix,
Oh no.
the beast, he just gives a big flex, and he just kind of like rips through the rope.
Oh
Really?
no!
Yeah,
Holy crap.
he rips through the rope. I will say that, like, let's say that, like, he rips through like 2 or 3 of the loops of it, so there's still like 2 loops around him that aren't quite broken, but he is starting to break free of that rope. And he's looking around the room, and like he's trying to figure out who he's gonna attack next. And I think he looks at Doug, because Doug like tried to hit him a second ago.
Yeah, and Doug's a butthead.
The beast lashes out at Doug, like just kind of snaps at him, and so Doug takes a step back, and then Doug runs outside. He runs away.
He's the worst.
Doug is the worst.
Yep.
We hate
Where are
Doug.
you going?
And he pushes past Dwight and Dan and just like runs back towards the village square. And it is now, and the other 2 are just kind of standing there wide-eyed, like they don't know what to do. They've frozen. They've completely frozen. This is above their pay grade. They usually are just like the guards. So Princess Theia, it is your turn. And I'm going to say you can cast spells and do magic. I know that narratively Princess Theia hasn't like learned how to do magic, but in the heat of the moment, if you think that she might try to channel any energy, like, because she has done things before out of her control.
I just don't know that she would have any idea how to do that.
Okay, no, that's fair. Would you say that you let me know if you think she's in a place where something might happen that's out of her control because she's stressed out.
Something could definitely happen out of her control, but I don't think she has any control over this stuff.
Okay.
I think the best that I've got right now is power of station and persuasion to make little men do my will.
Okay. So it is your turn, and you just saw one of the guards run out. He kind of like pushed past you even. So Felix is protecting you, and this other guy
just lost his job.
pushed past you to run out of the stable.
Well, I'm going to get the other guards to do what I want. And I'm going to say, guards, stand your ground. Help these people. Pin that thing down.
Okay. Can you make a persuasion check or intimidation, whatever you think? Is she persuading? Is she intimidating? Because these guards are pretty freaked out.
So 18.
Nice.
Wonderful.
Nice.
So I think Dwight, he kind of watched Doug run away, and he looks at you, Princess, and he looks at the monster, and he's scared, but he like shakes his head like, yeah, and he steps forward. He has an expression like he's just gotten an idea. And he also runs away. He also like disappears for a moment.
Gosh, dang it. Is there no loyalty anymore?
No offense, but your family's guards. You should reevaluate your hiring process.
I know, man.
And Dan is still frozen. He's just like, I don't know what to do, man.
I
don't
rolled an
know."
18.
But he's gone for a moment,
Okay.
and I'll come back to that.
No, I'm just being grumpy.
Okay.
These men are disappointing.
And I'm gonna come back to Kelsey.
I'm gonna try to knock him out
Okay.
again. It's not been successful, but let's do it again.
Oh no, it's a critical fail.
I can't. Okay, so another one.
Okay, so Kelsey, I'm gonna say since it's a 1, you try to punch him again, and this time you've tried to punch him 3 times down.
Yeah.
He is pissed, so he instead of him like biting you, he breaks the rest of the rope, and he is free, and he has his sights set on you.
Felix pushes Princess Theia behind him, draws his sword, and
What's
I
your
mean, we're in a stable. Surely there's rope here somewhere.
what? I probably should have clarified this earlier. What are your swords made of?
Oh,
Steel?
yeah, just the steel, I'd say.
Cool. Just checking.
It's a cheap sword.
Just checking.
Oh, dang it.
Like not silver, you mean?
My necklace is made of gold. I was like, I could use my necklace! No, it's made of gold.
Rally? It says I could do it.
What's
but
rally?
Is it a...
It's basically I'm just kind of. It's kind of like what is it? The inspiration or whatever.
Oh, can it assist Kelsey, like aid her character?
Yeah.
What is it?
But I can't really do that until it's hers.
Can you read it just so we can?
Yeah, on your turn, you can use a bonus action and expend 1 superiority die to bolster the resolve of one of your companions. When you do so, choose a friendly creature who can see or hear you. That creature gains temporary hit points equal to the superiority die roll plus your charisma modifier.
Awesome. You can do that if you want to.
So Felix pushes, moves Princess Theia behind him, and just, yells to Delaelia, "Don't back down! You've got him!"
Thanks, Coach.
And the thing is gonna reach out and try to bite you. 10.
That does not hit.
Aha! So he tries to bite you, but
Hits me right in the armor.
you are so rallied that you are able to like kind of nimbly kind of dodge out of the way. He just misses you, but he growls at you, and he is
Woo!
yeah. At that moment, Dwight re-enters, and he is carrying a torch. He has a torch, and
There
he's
are horses everywhere.
it's Dwight's idea.
Freaking Dwight.
And he enters the torch, and he steps forward, and he kind of starts waving the torch at the beast, and he says, back, beast." You can tell he's trying to be brave.
Okay.
And the beast does seem to cower a little bit. He's not so much scared as like he backs away from the fire, but he's still angry.
Okay.
And Dwight is waving fire in a stable.
Yeah.
It's Theia. How's Princess Theia feeling right now?
Well, she's scared. She's scared for herself, but more for her friend. There's a torch. We are in a stable.
Mm-hmm. Do you think she might be in a place where she might have a surge?
Probably.
Has it reached that point yet?
The thing is loose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's loose.
It's loose.
It's loose. It's
so I'm
completely
gonna
loose.
say she's probably scared enough that that's a thing that could happen.
Okay. So I want you to roll those 2 die that Kelsey told you to roll before. One was like the one with 2 numbers on it.
They're the same shape. Yeah.
And we'll see if something happens.
Oh no, 74.
Let's see. I don't know what it'll be.
Oh god. Hope it's not levitating, because that's gonna help no one.
It's not levitating. I can tell you that, because that was 46, and this is 74. Okay.
Oh no. I'm trying to help.
Where are you looking at the beast right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll a d4.
That's the triangle.
I know, right? You think it's gonna be the square because you think
Squares are 4, but they're not. Oh,
There it is. Oh, perfect.
what does that mean?
4.
Okay, so all of a sudden the beast it winces, and it kind of it's still growling, but it's wincing, and it's shaking its head, and it seems to be weakening for you can't see anything happening to it, but it kind of like retches a little bit, I guess.
Oh,
And
gross.
and the beast is now poisoned for 1d4 hours. So for 4 hours, he's poisoned.
Yes.
Yay!
I mean, sad, but yeah.
Felix just like looks up behind him and he's like, "Did you do that?"
I don't know.
When he's wincing like that, he takes 4 damage.
Great.
All right,
Wow.
Delaelia, he is now poisoned.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm attempting to tie him up again.
Okay.
And I want to just like get him hogtied. Fuck
Okay,
it.
hogtied. I
Arms
like
to
it.
ankles.
Perfect.
Like wrist to ankles.
Ooh, like with his face, like behind his back. Okay.
So that's a 14, and it's animal handling?
Mhm.
19.
Awesome. Okay, so you can see him weakening Delaelia. You're not sure why, but you use this opportunity to go right back in there, and you do manage to hogtie him. He's not expecting it. He's distracted by his pain, and so you grab his arms and you tie them behind his back. So he is now hogtied. But I will say Dwight is still kind of like waving the fire around. And I will say this, the fire is not making the horses feel any better.
Yeah.
The horses are getting more freaked out by the fire.
Okay.
So, but Dwight is still kind of like waving it because he doesn't know what else to do.
Get outta
Felix.
here, Dwight.
At least he tried.
So
to
he's
help.
restrained.
He is restrained. What does that mean, Kelsey?
A restrained creature's speed becomes 0. It can't benefit from any bonus to its speed. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage,
Perfect.
and the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage. The creature has disadvantage on dexterity saving throws.
Perfect. So he
So he has
has
2 conditions now.
perfect. Restrained and poisoned.
Mhm. I am gonna yell at Dwight.
Decent strength.
When it was my turn, I was like, "Get that fire out of here!"
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, put that fire out.
Do you say that to Dwight too?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're both just like,
Put that light out.
put that fire back where it came from, or so help me.
So help me. So help me.
And cut. Hello, listeners. I just wanted to take a quick break to thank you for listening. Like I've said before, this is my first campaign as a DM, so there's definitely been a learning curve. If you like what you hear, consider sharing the podcast on your social media platform of choice. Remember, if you share the podcast and tag us, I will put your name on my NPC naming list, and we might name a character after you. I know I said last week that we'd be uploading a new episode every 2 weeks, but with the Spellcast's help, we are now going to be able to upload 6 hours of content every month. Hooray! So, my goal for the foreseeable future is to get you a new episode every week. Everything is pretty much in the air about when I'll be able to go back to work, but for the time being, I'm going to use the time I have to focus on this. All right, that's enough talking. Our special guest will be making their appearance shortly. So let's get back to the story.
Okay. Felix is gonna run up to try and help Delaelia, and he's going to try and punch the wolf in the head and try and knock it out. And so that's a strength.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say
Yeah.
just like a straight up attack.
Okay.
So that's a 4.
So we should just stop trying to punch this thing. 'cause
Yeah, the
apparently
punching is not
apparently
working.
The universe is against this, so
You try to punch him, but you just kind of like,
I missed.
you miss. You just miss. You just miss.
Aw.
By the way, where's Ramsey? Did you leave him back at
I
the...
was just wondering, and I was like, "Where's my goat?" When you guys were out in the woods, I was thinking over here. I was like, "Wait a second, who has my goat?" I didn't take
It's probably
it.
just like eating people's food.
Yes.
He's got
Cutscene back
leftovers.
to the festival. Everyone's freaking out, and Ramsey's just like...
He's having a ball. He could care less.
And so...
Damn it.
Dwight, he hears what you're saying, and he's like, oh, sorry, and he kind of backs away with the fire. He tried. He looks at you like, I tried, princess.
It's okay, Dwight. Thank you.
And he exits again. And before anyone can do anything else, you hear a voice behind you say, "What is going on?"
Oh, no.
And Theia, it's not your dad.
Okay.
But it's Duke Roger, and he seems frustrated, and he sees you, and he says, Theia, what? I told you to.
I'm so sorry. My friend was in here and I got scared and I wanted to help. I'm sorry.
And he takes in the scene and he sees the beast that's restrained and he sees you, Felix, and you, Delaelia, and he says, all of you, get out of here quickly. I'll take care of it. Go.
Uncle Roger, you can't take care of it on your own. It's taken 3, 4, 5
Do
of us.
as I say, Theia. Out.
Okay.
And he do you exit? I'm gonna roll intimidation because he's a pretty big guy.
I'm intimidated for sure.
Oh, it's a 16. So I think you guys are he's a big booming figure and he's telling you to leave.
He's a big guy. He's royalty.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, I'm holding the guy still, so I don't want to just drop him.
Okay.
But I'm gonna be like, take him, my lord. You know.
Okay. And
I hold him down until he comes over to me.
I'm gonna follow Theia out.
And I think Duke Roger, he let's do this. So he kneels down next to you, Delaelia, and he looks at the beast and he doesn't seem scared, but he does seem alarmed, and he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out a silver dagger and he goes to slice its throat. The moment the silver touches the creature, it begins to like howl in agony, and he does begin to slit its throat, and you see kind of like blood, but it's not just blood, it's like black goo starting to like drip down the creature's throat and onto the floor, and it kind of like also like steam as if it's like also burning him, and it bleeds out. And he cuts it just enough that you could tell it is now dead. Upon death, the creature starts to change and it shrinks down into a normal-sized animal. And at this point, I would say you could probably recognize, it looks like a jackal.
Oh.
It looks like a jackal. Just a normal, regular jackal. And now it's dead.
And I look up at Duke Roger in shock, and I want to see if his face looks like this is strange to him, or... What'd you roll? 17. Perception.
Okay. So, perception or insight?
Oh, 17.
Okay.
Insight as well.
So he looks intent.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't look afraid. He did look concerned, but he looks intent, and he hasn't looked at you while this has happened. But once it is done, he looks at you and he says, "Who are you? What have you to do with this?" And he stands up and he's kind of looking down at you suspiciously.
I bow to him and I say, I came here because I noticed a great unrest and evil in my home, and I thought that you all would be in danger as well, and I wanted to help.
And he regards you, Delaelia, and he says, "I think you should come with me."
Sir, before we go, that thing spoke to me in common, not like a jackal.
And he stares at you, and he doesn't say anything. And he reaches for your arm to like take you by the arm and take you out of the stable. Do you go with him?
Yeah, I go with him.
Okay.
I don't fight it.
So, and he's a pretty strong guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he grabs you by the arm and he's like taking you outside the stable. And outside, Felix and Princess Theia, you're waiting with Dwight. You see Doug is there. It appears Doug went to go get Duke Roger. And there are like a scattering of like maybe like soldiers who've kind of come to like be like, should we be here? Do you need us? But no one actually went in to do anything. And Hilda has come. Hilda and Sabine are watching on the periphery, and the Duke regards everyone who's just kind of staring at them, and he says, "The beast has been taken care of. Go back to the festival." And they're all just kind of staring at him like, "We're supposed to go back to the festival?" And he says, "Come now. We don't want to alarm the people. We must inform them that the beast has been slain and that everything is safe now." And he says, "Guards," and he gestures to Dwight and Dan, and he says, Take her to the king." And they kind of look at each other and they look at you because they were there to watch all of that and they saw what you did. And they say, Dwight speaks up and he says, she was really helping us back there. If it hadn't been for her, I don't know what would have happened to. And Duke Rogers says, that was an order, soldier. And Dwight kind of looks at you and he says, okay, would you come with me there? I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
And I just say, I will come with you.
Okay. Felix, Theia, do you guys do anything?
I'm gonna go talk to my uncle.
Yeah, Felix goes up to Delaelia, and are you all right? What do you want me to do? Do you want me to go with you?
Maybe stay with the princess and help me peripherally.
Can do. So Felix goes and joins Theia. He's gonna stick with her.
Okay.
I'm gonna run to Uncle Roger.
Mm-hmm.
Say, hey, hold on, wait. What's gonna happen to her?
She will be questioned.
Just questioned? You promise?
He sighs and he says, I don't know what happened, but I know that I don't know her, and I don't know you. He looks at Felix. And why? Sorry.
No, he says hi.
And then he turns back to Theia and he rounds on you. He says, and why were you even here? I told you to stay where it was safe.
I know, I'm sorry, but I do know Felix here. He's nice and he's kind, and I thought he would be in trouble, and I wanted to help. And I don't think there's anything wrong with her. I mean, I'll admit I don't really know her, but she was doing a really good job of keeping the beast tied down, whatever it was, and I just don't want to treat her the way that we tend to treat other people who are magical in this kingdom.
And Duke Roger sighs and he kind of like massages his temples a bit and he says, Theia, you know it is my job to protect the kingdom. While you guys are having this moment, I think Hilda runs up to you, Felix, and Delaelia as you guys are having your conversation, and she says, Felix, and she like throws her arms around you and she says, you did it, you saved me, you really are a hero.
Aww.
All he's ever wanted.
Felix just hugs her back and he says, I'm just glad that you're safe. That's the important part.
And she just like hugs you
were
so
very
tight.
brave.
And she says, I know Mama will let you stay in a room tonight. You can have my bed.
Aww. Hilda.
Well, thank you, Hilda. We'll have to discuss that later. I'm gonna have to go with my friends here first and get some things sorted out, but everything's fine.
We jump cut to Delaelia. Because you were injured, you were taken first to Elisario to be healed, because although you are a stranger and under suspicion, they honor the fact that you are injured and they don't want you to continue to bleed in the dungeon. So they take you to Elisario, who is able to mend you while some guards stand outside. And she says to you, I warned you. And then we jump cut to Felix, and you are in the inn, and you've been given a room because the innkeepers, they are so very happy that you saved their daughter, who has told them the whole story about what happened. And now the town is kind of, she told their parents and the townspeople who were in the tavern when she was telling the story. Everyone knows the story now of what happened in the stable with Felix, the adventurer, and Delaelia. I don't know if anyone knows your name, and the mysterious elven warrior who helped to restrain the beast. And Princess Theia, you are escorted back to the palace, and you are in your chamber, and you are grounded. I don't believe your father said anything to you, but as you were led back to the palace, he just gave you a very stern look and then shook his head and then walked away. So now,
Silent treatment.
I mean, I'm pretty used to it at this point, gonna be honest.
so now you each are in your own respective beds. Delaelia is being
less
a
pleasant.
dungeon. But there's some hay in there. There's some hay on the floor. I want to say that like Dwight is the one who's in charge of taking care of you, so he like sneaks you some food, and he tries to make you as comfortable as possible because
That's nice.
he doesn't think that he knows you're good. He knows that you did good things to help people. So Dwight's kind of hanging out there. And at some point, even though you're stressed out, at some point everyone after this crazy night, at some point everyone manages to fall asleep, and we have some dreams. Okay, I'm gonna start with Delelia's dream.
Where's my goat?
Could be like, oh, and Ramsey, Ramsey does not want to stay in the stables because that was really scary. So Ramsey's
Yeah,
just
there's
kind
like
of
wolf and blood in there.
he's tucked. You said he doesn't like to go inside, right? Like he's afraid of being indoors.
He's not comfortable with it. I mean, it's not really.
I think Sabine takes him back to her place and like lets him sleep like in her outside of her home
Thank you,
in her garden. Sabine's
So
a gardener also.
Who here wants to marry Sabine?
Me.
Everybody raise
Same.
their
Yeah,
hand.
everyone's raising their hand.
Delaelia, it's nighttime and you are running through the forest, chasing something. You can't quite see what you're chasing by the light of the moon, but you just keep running. As you run, you glance to either side of you and you see, through the trees, a white wolf running as well. But there's something different about this wolf. And it's hard to tell in the moment, but for a split second, you could swear that you see the wolf run right through a tree. And suddenly, it's 30 feet up ahead of you and almost out of sight. What do?
I call out to it. Wait.
It doesn't wait. It's still running.
Okay, then I try to catch up.
You follow the wolf, and up ahead, you see that the wolf has stopped, and it is staring at what you know is the prey you've been chasing, what you are called to find. You see Prince Dashing, standing in the middle of a small clearing. As you approach, he turns to face you, and you lock eyes for a moment. What do?
Is he my prey? Do I understand that?
Yeah, in the dream, you understand that this is what you've been pursuing.
Okay, in the dream, I shoot him.
You raise your long bow, and you pull back on the string, preparing to shoot. But before you have a chance, suddenly, a burst of reddish-orange flame erupts from the ground where Dashing is standing, and he is entirely consumed by fire. You're actually pushed back a bit by the heat of the flame, and as the brightness subsides and the flames begin to die down, you can see that Dashing is nowhere to be found. But through the flickering flames, you see another face on the other side of the fire. You recognize this to be the face of the girl who came into the stable, the face of Princess Theia, and she's looking at you from across the fire. And you glance to the wolf, and it is also looking past the flame, but it is looking past the princess to something stirring behind her. From the darkness, you see red eyes gleaming, shadowy claws reaching for her. What do?
I go to shoot it.
And you aim at this shadow creature reaching for her. And you pull back and you shoot. And suddenly, everything goes dark and you are floating in nothingness. And in the darkness, you see that the only thing left is the wolf. The wolf is still there, and it is looking directly at you, Delaelia. And you hear a whisper. Protect the balance.
Felix, you are laying in a grassy field, a soft wind blowing across your face. The sun is setting and the sky is currently a beautiful combination of pinks and oranges.
Ramsey lays next to you, sleeping peacefully. Everything appears to be quite calm. As you gaze up onto the sky, something flies across your field of sight. It is a luminous purple butterfly. You sit up to watch it as it flutters along, finally coming to rest on the shoulder of a familiar figure. You see, standing only a few feet away, gazing at the setting sun, your mentor, Reinhold Hawkwood the Resilient. What do you do?
Felix jumps up and runs up to his mentor and like tries to, well, he's really short, but tries to get his attention.
And can you tell us what Reinhold looks like?
Okay, so Reinhold is this older gentleman. He's a man who was a knight at one point in his life, but that was many, many years ago. He is quite aged. He's very tall and skinny, has like a big, ridiculous, goofy mustache, and also has very brightly colored clothes, and he's very much a romantic type of character, but he's very kind and patient. While he looks very thin and old and everything like that, you can tell this man has a lot of experience.
And Reinhold, he looks down at you, Felix, and he says,
I have it on good authority that you had quite a day today, Felix.
Oh, Reinhold, I can't even begin to tell you. I met a princess. I helped save this little girl from this terrifying beast, and I've met this elf woman she's trying to find some sort of evil darkness out there. She's looking for something, and I've offered to help her. And there's this woman Sabine, and she cuts wood. It's
I see. Well,
Felix is just kind of blushing. He's like,
And Reinhold, he smiles kindly down at you, Felix, and he says,
Felix, why do you want to be a hero?
Well, to help people. To be remembered.
And Reinhold nods, and he says,
Do you have what it takes?
I don't know.
And the butterfly lifts off Reinhold's shoulder and floats back, away from the setting sun, towards an ominous tree line, just as dark and foreboding as the sunset is warm and inviting. What do you do?
What is that, Reinhold?
My boy, why don't you find out? That's what adventurers do, isn't it?
Felix just, he smiles at Reinhold and, nods and takes a really deep breath and starts making his way towards the dark forest, following the butterfly.
Ha ha! Good luck, my boy! Don't do anything I wouldn't do! Ha ha ha!
Felix, you follow the butterfly into the forest. The brush is thick and brambly. You find yourself being scratched by thorns. Finally, you make your way through to a small clearing. Overhead, Felix, from inside the forest, you can see that the sun has disappeared, and the night sky shines bright overhead from a large red moon hanging in the air. Up ahead, there is a sudden burst of flame. You run closer, and you see in the middle of the clearing a sort of large bonfire burns. On one side stands Delaelia, and on the other stands Princess Theia. Behind her, Felix, you also see some creature lurking in the shadows, and you can feel that it is about to attack the princess. What do you do?
I draw my sword and shield, and it's a dream, so Ramses is gonna be pretty brave too. And
Yeah.
I'm just gonna kind of kick my heels against him, and we're gonna go charging at it. He's just gonna yell, "Get away from her!"
And you charge, Felix. Ramsey is running at top speed. Your sword is drawn and you slash at the darkness. And suddenly everything is gone. And you find yourself floating. And you see the purple butterfly float past your field of vision. And you hear a whisper. Protect the princess. Theia, you are sleeping fitfully. As you slumber, images flash before your eyes in a short stress montage. You see Prince Leonardo looking at you lovingly. You see yourself levitating in the air, your father's disapproving stare. And then you see your brother dashing, cutting his way through a thick forest, slicing at the foliage with his sword, eyes fixed forward, jaw clenched. And you have this sudden urge to reach out for him. Wherever he is going, you just know that something is going to happen to him, something bad. What do you do?
I'm going to reach out for him. I'm going to call his name Dashing.
And as you reach out to him, he is suddenly engulfed in a burst of flame that blinds you. And you can feel yourself screaming his name, but you can't hear it. All you can hear is the crackling of the flames. And then for a moment, everything is darkness. You don't see or hear anything. And then you hear a chirp. And you open your eyes, and you are lying on a stone floor. And as you come to, you realize you are in the abandoned astronomy tower, your secret hideout. And you sit up and look at the window, and there is your robin friend. And for a moment, you wonder if maybe everything that happened, the festival, the wolf, was a dream. But as you look around the room, you realize this isn't exactly the abandoned tower as you know it. Theia, you are standing in a room made of marble, if you can call it a room. The floor beneath your feet is made of smooth, creamy marble, and there are columns that rise up towards the ceiling. But instead of ceiling, there is just sky. A sky that is somehow both night and day at the same time. Before you, you see 3 pedestals, each with an item hovering slightly above it. What do you do?
I'm going to investigate those items.
All right, and you don't have to roll anything. So you step forward towards these pedestals, and your robin friend flies over and lands on your shoulder and comes with you. On the first pedestal floats a single white feather from which emanates a soft golden glow. Do you go closer?
Can I check with my robin friend?
Yeah.
Which one do you think, robin friend?
He kind of just looks at you and cocks his head and fluffles his feathers and pecks at his wing to clean it a little bit.
I want to see what else is on those pedestals.
Okay. So on the center pedestal hovers a half mask, like a masquerade mask. Okay. And it is engulfed in a hot blue flame. Do you go any closer?
I want to see the last one first.
On the third pedestal floats a small silver ring with the image of a skull carved into the band. It is radiating a dark purple energy.
I'm going to go closer to the feather.
As you draw near to the feather, the gently glowing feather, you feel a sense of warmth radiate throughout your body, like you've been napping in the sun on a sunny summer day and you feel safe.
Yeah. Can I touch it?
I mean, sure. Do you want to investigate the others at all before you touch it?
I guess, yeah, I'll investigate the others a little closer.
Okay. As you draw nearer to the half mask engulfed in hot blue flame, you can feel its power radiating in waves. You feel your skin begin to burn as if you've been out in the sun for too long. But at the same time, you feel your heartbeat quicken and adrenaline courses through you.
All right, I'm going to check out that ring.
And as you approach the ring, you feel yourself cooling down very quickly. In fact, now you are shivering. It doesn't frighten you, but it does chill you to the bone. You can also sense a great power emanating from this object.
I'm definitely leaning towards the cat in a sunbeam feather.
So you go to the feather?
Yeah.
What do?
I want to touch it.
Theia, you reach out a hand and you touch the feather. And suddenly the room is just light. It's all light, warm light. And you're floating. You're floating, Theia. And you hear a voice whisper to you,
Find the ranger. She will bring you to him.
and that is your dream.
Him.
The end. Session 1 is now done.
We made it through all of the stuff. There you have it, folks. That was the last chunk of our second in-person session, our official. Okay, I'm just winging it. It's 10:38 at night, so I'm gonna keep going. A big thank you to our special guest, Mike Ott, who voiced the character Reinhold Huckwood the Resilient. We love you, Mike, and we're really glad you could be our first official guest voiceover. What will become of Delaelia in the dungeon? What do these strange dreams mean? Find out next time on Spellbound. Music used in this episode includes Spellbound by Vindsvept, a bunch of songs by Alexander Nakarada, and even though I technically don't have to give him a shout out because I'm one of his patrons on Patreon, I want to say his name again because he's great. All this music, basically all of it, except for that last piece, which was written by our own Krista Poyman. Thank you, Krista. But basically everything else was composed by Alex, so check him out. Check him out on bandcamp.com. And our sound effects came from zapsplat.com. Thank you, Zapsplat. Until next time.
Total right.